This is the daily writing exercise, day 13, titled Murder on the Saint-Maximin estate. Private Investigator Klein entered the dark room alone. The family wished it to be so. The police, some members of the media, and a large selection of curious dinner guests were tasked with awaiting his return. Once inside, P.I. Klein flicked on the light switch. His eyes needed a few seconds to get used to the shift in light. He put his hands in his pockets and balled up his fist. Before him lay the untouched room, with the lifeless corpse of Lord Tremor upon the creaking wooden floor. Pierre Klein's eyes shifted across the room. He breathed steadily and made sure to stay as calm and collected as possible. There was nothing out of the ordinary. The room was as it was supposed to be. It was a small side room in between the library and the dining room. There was enough space for a sofa against the wall, with a large window above. A wooden decorative table stood beside it, and a large plant pot stood in the corner of the room. The final piece that put the room together was a large painting hanging from the wall opposite the window. P.I. Klein's eyes rested upon it for a while, searching it for answers it did not have. The body of Lord Tremor lay face down in the middle of the floor. A pool of drying blood surrounded him. There were no obvious wounds, no signs of a struggle, and no obvious hints left behind by the killer. P.I. Klein assumed the man was attacked from the front, thus he must have known the killer, and as such the killer was likely one of the many party guests still present in the dining hall. That was the easy part. Figuring out who it was, though, was another. P.I. Klein broke from his spot and slowly shuffled his way across the small room and around the body of Lord Tremor. He hunched around the body and sniffed around to see if he could smell anything. The blood and sweat proved to be too pungent, though there was a hint of alcohol in the air which didn't really say anything. There was a dinner party going on, so the guests and Lord Tremor had obviously been drinking. P.I. Klein sighed deeply. The case wasn't going to be as easy as he hoped it would be. A case he wasn't in the mood for at all. P.I. Klein had been called from his marital bed right after he had gotten into it. It was about 11 now, and he could be here for many more hours if he wanted to. Precious hours within which he had to solve the case. P.I. Klein thought about what to do next. He could hardly keep the guests and the police waiting, but he could also not let them leave. Once they were gone, the guilty party would surely disappear. Besides, there were about 50 guests, most of whom probably had plans of their own, and who certainly were not eager to wait around for a private detective to solve a strange and unfamiliar case. No, if he was going to solve the case, he would have to do it here and now. Pierre Klein stood back up and moved towards the window. It was raining outside, and the flat green landscape beyond, with its many trees and hedges, sturdily held against the blowing winds. That was his solution. That was his excuse. The guests could not leave, even if they wanted to, and so he had time to solve the case until the rain stopped. No more was written or recorded. Thank you for listening, and let me know what you think.